This is one of the best podcasts ever. Ever. Top 5 dead or alive.
Welcome to Caviar. I'm your host, Tony, in the Ministry of Silly Talks. As usual, Graham in the building.
Hi.
We're going to try this video thing again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we mentioned that you shot a video last week.
Yeah,
I listened to it.
Yeah, this is the third episode that we talk about a video. There's no video. I promise, we're not scamming you guys.
It's going to happen.
We're just working on it. We're working on it.
Don't
it's
say
gonna
we.
happen.
This is Tony's podcast.
Yeah. It's being worked on. We got this.
Top
all right.
Men. Top men are on it.
You know, another great week of us producing great content last week.
Fantastic
another
content this
2
week.
Great episodes.
Yep.
And we are definitely in a groove heading into 2020, and it's an amazing feeling. Yeah.
Can you mind if I see if this works?
Yeah,
real quick?
go ahead. There we go.
Sorry, it wasn't working when we were doing live.
Yeah.
It's important that I check it.
Yeah.
Yo.
All right, we're good.
There we go. That all just every time I hear that, it reminds me of the 90s.
It
like,
does.
Everything was just like that, bro.
Every sound effect on this sound effect part of the keyboard just reminds me of even like when we were making music in the early 2000s. And it was like if you had like a, you know, like any kind of keyboard, even if it was a real nice one.
Oh, yeah.
It had a bank of.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they all did. And it's crazy.
And these were all in the same places too.
Right.
The keyboard was the same.
I don't know.
The nostalgia.
Man. It's so weird. Everything about the 90s was weird, bro.
Yeah.
The music was weird. The fashion was definitely weird. But what we have for today.
Sorry. I looked at the sound and I was like, oh, it's about time.
Now, what we have for today is a nice episode. It's going to be real good. It's going to be real clean. If we leaned it out,
okay.
we're gonna go ahead. We're going to put it on the track, and we're going to do some good laps with it.
I give him the grease.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's tried and true method of doing podcasts. No, but
Put some on his finger.
Would you like me to stop? Or I mean, we're 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah,
Stick
go
it in
ahead.
his ass.
Yep.
So kind of like fuck yourself.
Yep.
Okay,
There
we
you
got
go.
it. I think. Oh wait, hold on.
No.
That's old penalty.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Sorry.
We talked about it on your
Sorry. I
podcast
apologize.
briefly. No, that's fine. We talked about it on your podcast briefly about how some people would think that we're scripted or like how it goes into doing a podcast. And a lot of times, especially in episodes like this where I want to get the video right and then import it into the podcast, this isn't necessarily something that it's something that has to be done, but it takes a certain skill into just hitting record and then sitting down and then continuing to hold a conversation and do a podcast episode that is entertaining and something that people can actually either learn something from, or laugh with, or just enjoy. And I want to tell the people, I spoke on this before, but I want to tell the people that, look, it's not easy. We make it look easy because we've known each other for over a decade, and
almost 2.
Yeah, it's been a long time,
almost 2 decades,
and we just have that chemistry between each other, and also
we've done a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, that, and even by ourselves, we are able to continue to push on and get our point across, either rant or something like that.
We're committed.
I think that it comes down to commitment, and it comes down to us really having a drive to do it. And we are self-aware to where we can be like, well, this wasn't a great episode, but we push through it.
I mean, we certainly encourage each other.
Yeah,
And I've mentioned it on other podcasts. You're the Kanye West to my whatever. I don't know of an insecure, self-effacing rapper, but I'm that guy. You know?
No. We have a great chemistry, but we also have. I think that us having opinions on things consistently, and the need for us to actually say it, to even if we're sitting in a room by ourselves and we're speaking into a microphone, we still put it out there. We say what we have to say, and then that's it. We don't try to stretch out these episodes.
No. Well, and I was talking to Griff the other day about something, and it was another thing. I know I mentioned some of the issues with listening to reply instead of listening to learn.
That's a good
what
point
I
that you
mentioned
brought
on
up.
the last podcast, which like I said, I take full responsibility, and I think all of us as burgeoning podcasters don't realize that. The other thing Griff mentioned to me the other day was that he found it difficult to keep doing the podcast because when he sat down to do it, he felt like he had to be like Mr. Podcaster guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's something that we all fall prey to at some point.
That's
where
true.
you're like, you have this thing in your head and you've been thinking about it all week and you're like, I want it to sound like this. And I think probably anybody who's getting into this, and myself included, because I beat myself up about this all the time, is to kind of like when you sit down and the fucking music starts, you just... wipe the slate. You got ideas and everything, but wipe the slate. Just let it come.
Just let it come.
Since we've been doing that, the episodes have been infinitely better on both.
And I mean, that's true. Yeah, because we have
And the
things
harder
that
you
we
work
wanna,
at that,
Yeah, we have things that we want to talk about, but then we digress. And sometimes what we digress on is good content. So
sometimes better than whatever you had prepared.
Yeah, I mean, and this is anything that you've seen. If you're used to looking at Letterman and all these late shows, Conan, then sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, we had this schedule, but it didn't happen, so we got to push it back."
Right.
But it
and
doesn't
that's
mean
even
that
in
the
a
show
highly rigid environment.
exactly.
As far as podcasting goes, that's pretty much the name of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, because we don't have a damn a dedicated showtime that we have to be here, and we don't have to go to makeup and rehearsal and all this shit. We don't have sketches or we don't have skits that we put in the middle of our podcast. Yeah, I know. I did the thing in the beginning for a while, but that was mostly ad libs. We just go in here, we press record, and we go. I mean,
not a lot of post-production.
If anybody is thinking about starting a podcast, I would say that the content is important, but having the drive to continue to do it week in and week out,
over and over and over and over
that is the hard part.
I was listening to a stand-up comedian bitching about that on some podcast the other day, where they were like, when you first start out, the difference is that you have to go on the stage, and the first time you've ever done it, do it in front of people. And I'm like, well, fuck you. The first time you do a podcast, you have to record it.
Yeah.
And then if your nuts are big enough, you got to let all of those just exist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all your failed sets, essentially.
Yeah.
Plus, we're not working on material in here.
No, we're not.
Everything is new. Every week, the goal is to do something different than the week before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even if we go back on other topics that we've covered in the past,
you
have to come
them.
up. Yeah.
Right.
You got to come up with new shit. There has to be something new and relevant towards that episode.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you just learned something. Comedians fucking podcasting may be more embarrassing than stand-up.
Yeah.
Infinitely.
Yeah.
Infinitely.
Oh yeah. I agree with that shit. I mean, it's
just got to keep showing up.
It's different, bro. It's different. I guess for a comedian, if you go out there and it's like. If you go out there, you get instant feedback because the crowd is either gonna they're gonna cheer, they're gonna be quiet, they're gonna boo, maybe they're gonna heckle you.
Here, you just have to keep recording.
You just gotta keep recording
putting them out.
You gotta keep recording, keep putting them out. It's the same thing, man. If I do Game Caviar and I got my mic on and I'm streaming, I mean that's live, but still, you just gotta keep going, and it's not not easy, but it gets easier.
Of course it
The
does.
more you do it and the more you're accepting to change and all that shit. But yeah. And have a soundboard too, because that shit
If I ever
is
did
crazy.
soundboard, I would have to have a fucking. If I ever did soundboard, if I ever did stand-up comedy,
Yeah.
I would have to have a soundboard.
You think that would, man? What would that?
You, that's my name.
It would
Yeah.
sound like a podcast.
That'd be awesome.
We are
No, I mean,
probably
even-
going to do a live podcast for episode 200 of 1 Gram Army. Sorry,
That's
I don't
fine.
mean to
Yeah.
hijack this.
No, that's fine.
But we probably are going to do one.
I think we're ready for that shit.
Yeah, but it's going to require a little bit of pre-planning as far not discussion topics, but
Yeah.
logistically
Yeah,
how it'll be
logistics, yeah.
recorded, how it'll be filmed, what time of day, how
Oh,
many
yeah.
people are going to be there,
Yeah.
what do we need, like, you know.
Are we renting a spot or are we fucking?
Actually, Adam Mitchell, guest,
Oh, yeah.
former guest on the 1 Gram Army podcast, said that we were good to go at that bar.
no shit.
Yeah. Last time I saw him, he was like, "Yeah, you like talk to me." He even mentioned like midday on a Saturday, like.
Okay, I'm down with that.
You know?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm like 15, 14 episodes away from that, so I probably ought to start, locking that down.
I think that us doing, because we had a show at that same bar
What if you did it
when
on
we were
Christmas?
rapping.
Yeah.
You remember that shit?
Yep.
So that bar and us doing creative shit is like
Yeah.
infinitely connected in the universe.
It'd be nice to go back to that bar and use that stage
Yeah.
instead of, standing in the middle of all the people at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that I had to write down after we got rid of that.
I'm
it's
sorry.
No. I mean, I've talked to some people that
I actually
that
forgot we were
and
doing a podcast.
No, and that's good because it is a great conversation between you and I, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much how every episode is. I had some guys that were asking me about the podcast, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that say that they need to start a podcast, and it's not for everybody.
Come on.
It's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
And anybody that asks me, I'll be like, look, get good audio equipment, make it sound good, and then continue to do it week in and week out. Understand that you won't have great episodes every episode,
Yeah.
but
And remember that nobody gives a fuck that you're doing one.
yeah,
You know,
that
like,
too. Yeah,
Nobody gives. Like, you
Yeah.
better really give a fuck.
like if you're
And
not
this is
already
my
famous,
advice now.
then yeah.
This is my advice now as someone who hasn't like become a professional podcaster.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I guarantee you that wall is somewhere beyond where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to even get to where I am, like if you want to get to
Yeah.
where I'm at, you want to get up to 200 episodes of doing a podcast.
Right.
And like really just relishing the little bit of feedback.
You gotta fucking want it, bro.
You better fucking get out
You
there.
gotta fucking want it.
You don't have to tell these fucking people how many goddamn podcasts I did.
Yeah.
When you came over and started doing podcasts with me, and then you were like, "I'm doing my own podcast."
Mm-hmm.
That was what I told you. I was like, "Dude, when you're here, let's just,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
already set up for it.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy to sponsor it."
Oh yeah. And I was like,
You
fuck
know?
it, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I mean, shit.
because I'm out here doing it. I knew you would keep doing them.
Mm-hmm.
I sound like a maniac right now. I'm sorry.
I mean, we got to be maniacs over this podcast shit. I mean, we in here week in and week out, and then maybe somebody will listen to it, and maybe they won't. you
Every
know?
week, yeah,
You got to be a certain
exactly.
type of psychopath to continue to do this.
We have some serious
yeah.
pathogens. What do they call them? Fucking,
Dude,
one of them.
Yeah, we have.
We're not
some-
ists or isms, but we're a lot of paths.
Yeah, I mean, it is there. You have to be a certain type of psychopath to continue to do any of this week in and week out. And you look at somebody like me, I got the podcast, I got shirt caviar, I got game caviar, I got
Attacking
all
it
this
from
other
so
shit.
many angles.
Yeah,
so
bro.
many things where you're like, the fuck is wrong with you people? Why are you not buying my shit?
Like, yes. And this is why we go so hard week in and week out about going to Shirt Caviar and subscribing to the 1 Gram Army, subscribe to Pod Caviar. We're not just doing this because we're narcissistic assholes. No, we believe in all this shit.
Working for free.
We are doing all
A
of this for
bunch
free.
of work.
All of this is for free.
A
Not shirt.
bunch
I mean,
of work.
Shirt Caviar. Yeah, I sent out a lot of free shirts for all the people that support me, especially my longest,
Shirt
my hardest
Caviar
supporter.
is
but
a
it's like
tangible
yeah,
thing.
yeah. No,
The
that's
podcast
go
is
there.
so weird.
Yeah,
The
it's so weird.
podcast
It's like
is so
we're here
weird.
doing this, and we just want you to subscribe
Yeah.
and enjoy it.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
don't even
Yeah.
have to give us any money. You just have to get involved.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
Or I fuck your mom. Never mind.
is that in one?
Why
Is that in one ear? Yeah. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure it wasn't me. There's a connection.
Go ahead.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, moving on from that, we talked about this earlier, the Apple versus the Android. Apple just came out with their iPhone 11, their Pro, and their normal version, and it makes it every time either Samsung or Motorola or Apple comes out with a new phone, it always sparks up that new conversation. Listen, I shit post all the time on social media. I do it mostly on Facebook, and I take shots at Android and the green bubble all the time. Not because I hate Android, not because I'm just getting paid by Apple. None of that is happening. It would be really cool if Apple did pay me. Hint, hint. But I do it to get a reaction out of people because there's so many. And man, I mean,
No
I've
keyboard.
said this so much, and I've been like, look, I don't give a shit about the phone. I love Apple and I love my iPhone, but when I need it, I want it to work.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether it's an Apple phone or a Samsung phone. When I pick it up and I need to make it a phone call in an emergency, will it work? And okay, yeah. That's it. I love the reactions out of people when I do that because I go fucking overboard. And it's like this past week when they announced the iPhone 11, I was like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever. Android people will never, they're
Right.
suicide watch.
Right.
You know, they're just
But then-
up in arms. And they're like, well, you know what? Android had that years ago. Apple needs to catch up. And I'm sick of you making these jokes about it. And I'm like, well, you just said it. It's a joke.
Right.
Lighten up about it. If you're
Who
not working
actually
for them,
gives a shit?
right?
We're giving them our money.
Yeah.
You know what? It's weird. It's almost like
it's so weird, bro.
It's one of the things that as I get older, I have to tamp down about sports. Is I'm like, we're all arguing with a bunch of people who we give our money to.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no, I give my money to those guys.
yeah, yeah.
I am free advertising for that particular
And that's
company.
and that's always what it is.
Right.
Because there's always somebody that'll be like, well, you talking shit about Androids, but you know what? We have this, and they always go down the
Who
same.
the fuck is we? It's a phone.
Yeah, and they always go down the same
Yeah.
tech aspects, the specs of their phone.
I wasn't paying
I'm like,
attention when you
what?
mentioned it
Uh-huh.
because I thought you were about to be like, yeah, the Apple, because I thought you were joking around like, yeah, fuck yeah, that Apple phone. You were actually being like, I don't give a fuck about that. But that was why I was like, well, here's my Android, already has 3 cameras on it, bitch.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm like, nah, I don't give a fuck about none of that
Which
shit.
led up to a conversation between both of us that's like, why would a phone need more than one camera?
Yeah,
The selfie camera
Yeah.
can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
yeah.
You know
and you
what
and I,
mean?
we grew up with phones that didn't have cameras
Didn't
at
take
all.
pictures.
Didn't have colored
Remember
screens.
those first phones Sprint was selling that took pictures where the screen was like this big? The shit looked
Yeah.
like Mario Brothers.
Yeah, bro.
Like you could take a picture with it, and the shit was like a Mario Brothers
Yeah.
photograph
Yeah,
of reality.
and that's exactly what we had. Imagine
Yeah.
I got some titty pics on those phones.
Oh, yeah.
and that shit was like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it looks good. Shit,
could be.
I don't know. It's still a crapshoot.
Yeah, could be titties, could just be like a pan of cookies.
Yeah, it could be a fucking picture of coffee grounds on a
Right.
chocolate cake,
Right.
and I'd be like, oh well, I guess that's a titty.
Assuming,
No, well,
presumably,
it's just
yeah.
a coffee grounds on top of a cake.
You
Kind
wouldn't
of
be
a
able-
weird dessert,
yeah,
but
you would just have to be told that it was titties. And then you both would have to have the exact same kind of phone.
exactly.
None of that made any goddamn
no,
sense.
no,
Those were all terrible advancements.
no.
But then
So-
it was just like all of a sudden,
It's so weird.
Fast forward through the first couple generations of smartphones, and then it was like, oh, you can go to Walmart and give them $40 a month, and you can have a computer
Yeah,
in your hand.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. That
Don't put
exploded.
don't put too much shit on it. Don't fucking like overload it with apps. But literally, like even like if you had a cheap like Boost Mobile or
Yep.
Cricket or
Yep.
Family Mobile, one
Yep.
of those phones,
Yep.
you literally had the internet in
Yeah.
a fucking box
Yes,
in your
bruh.
pocket.
Yes.
You didn't even have to get the apps. You could just access shit through the web browser
Yeah.
if you wanted to, and quit being a bitch. It's easy to do.
Yeah, and it's like,
It's like having a laptop that is
yeah.
this big.
Just be happy about all of that. This
Yeah.
is the overarching
And that's
thing
what's
is like,
crazy.
dude, this is
that
what you need to
happened
be
like
happy
that.
about.
That should happen
Yeah.
like that.
And that's why it's so hilarious for me when people
I don't know
of
what
a
started this,
certain
just for
side of people on each side of it would go so crazy and do so much for these companies, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you so mad about that?
You have access
I
to
don't give a
amazing
shit.
technology.
Yeah,
And I
don't give a
apologize
shit.
again. I'm sorry. I don't even know what that rant was about, but I was just the point was that with very little access to technology in the past, now
you
with
don't
a
have
little
anything to
bit of
complain
money,
about, bro.
You can fucking see
You don't
it
have
all.
to complain about anything because after a while, I'm gonna tell you, after a while, all those features and shit, I don't give a fuck about any of that. The only thing that I do care about is because I plan on using my phone to shoot the movie Caviar City and take pictures and all that shit. But that phone right there and that phone that you have,
It's Caviar City now?
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
gonna
you
get rid of Men in the Bag.
are
Just
you
more of that.
writing it, bro?
I am writing it actually.
The fuck I'm talking about? the fuck I'm talking about?
Yeah, no,
I
no.
didn't know what to do with Men of the Bad. I was
Yeah.
like, Tony, I want to help you. I'll make music. I'll
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
do sound
yeah.
bites. We'll come in here and do
Yeah.
fucking like the what do they call that shit? The thing.
Oh yeah, where they do the AMSR, but like sounds for like breaking
Yeah,
bones
for the
and
game.
shit.
Yeah, for your movie
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
sound effects and all that
Yep,
shit.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, we can still do all that, but it's
Yeah.
Caviar City.
But you
I
gotta
mean, I
have
feel
something
like
written,
Caviar City.
otherwise
No,
I
I
can't
am
help
writing
you.
it. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'm definitely writing it, and it's coming along very well.
Why is it in one ear? Sorry.
It's coming along very well. And we are.
Turn my
I mean,
microphone off.
we are pretty close to shooting a trailer for it, and it's gonna be amazing. The thing that I have done these so many years, and it's been about 10 years that I've started working on this, is that I've just studied it and went through everything, and I have the graphic design part of it, and I need to get the filmmaking part of it, and then we can still build from there. And then we're at the point now to where we are writing, I'm writing the script, and we are going to be shooting it, and it's going to be amazing. All right, we're gonna get the point across. The storyline is gonna be okay. The storyline is gonna be great. It's gonna be relevant to what's going on currently in the social fucking cloud of people,
Fuck people.
and it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna put this together. It's gonna have good, amazing, vibrant colors. It's gonna have great effects. It's gonna be something that you will see and be like, wow, this is amazing. Is this his first movie?
Yeah, installments. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be that, and it's gonna stretch between so many mediums to where somebody can
Yes.
have a comic strip. We can do the audio, the radio thing that you were talking about. Of course, we're gonna have the video aspect, and it's coming along. So,
All I need is an outline
Dude.
of the universe within which to work.
okay, yeah.
That's
Okay,
all
well
I
then,
need,
shit, yeah, I'll
and
do
I'll
that.
start doing
Yeah, because I
stuff.
already have that. Yeah, but yeah.
If you're
I
like,
have
here's
that.
these characters and they do this and they interact with these characters this way.
I've gone very Tarantino with this whole thing to where everything is in one universe, quote unquote. And I hate saying that, but it makes sense
Yeah.
when you think about it from a movie standpoint. And then everything will be connected either directly or loosely to where you understand that this is in the Caviar universe. And then it will encompass all of these things. Maybe they'll come together like an Avengers movie, or maybe they won't. But yeah, it's coming along. But we have something that's great.
I want to.
And I came across this earlier today, and this is a website that creates or generates random article titles that could be seen on Vice.
Yeah, if you ask
And
me, I didn't know this existed, and I was pretty disappointed that I didn't. I was pretty upset that I didn't know this existed to this
fucking
point.
Came across this randomly, and I was like, "This is gold." For those of you who don't know anything about us and how we feel about Vice, we have pretty strong opinions about Vice for valid reasons.
Yeah, I like their entertainment.
Yeah.
Their news hasn't been valid for quite some time. There was a time, though. I mean, I don't want to have a long conversation about Vice. People know the history
Yeah, they
of
already
Vice.
know. Right.
They're basically like the first viral company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, there was a time where Vice was reporting on things that no one would even bother.
Right.
Right. But
Right.
then they decided that after they were bought out, that after that, they would keep acting
Yeah.
like they were on shit.
Yeah.
And in the meantime,
Yeah,
they looked
yeah.
fucking incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
It would be like I would
Yeah.
watch a Vice show
Yep.
and just really fucking.
Yeah, it's gone downhill, and they
Sorry to
really
ask.
got
Just how retarded are you?
yeah, no, they really got on our radar after we did the the Diet Love Pass incident, and then they all of a sudden they want to do something, and it's real weird how they did. And then there's another show that was on Discovery Channel that did something too recently, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, you guys had it. We did an episode on Caviar where we solved it without a shadow of a doubt, and then now you want to follow behind us.
It's just crazy that people haven't picked that up and understood that we solved the issue. Yeah. It's no longer a mystery.
It's no longer a mystery at all. Like, stop it. No, we got this. We had the scoop on this, and then we are number one on this. But yeah, this is the Vice title generator. So this one says, a confession from over the hill pagan Christian space blasting ecstasy at college.
Wow. All right. Vladimir Putin's postman is not a donkey fluffer, but he is a paramedic.
All right.
Dude, these are so good.
Yeah. How hashtag vote leave is using tampons with pagan hookers outside of San Francisco.
Whoa.
I mean, shit. There you go.
San Salvador has a new PCP town. God
what the fuck?
Dude. These are so realistic.
What?
Like,
yes.
Because you know what this is a great commentary on is how Vice, in their like recent history, they will take something and be like, this is our story. Mm-hmm. You know, Latinos, black people, you know, people from Uruguay, people from San Salvador. Go and find that on your on your map as a country.
Point that shit out without even having Google or anything.
Yep, check it out. And then, but so like, oh yeah, so this place has a new PCP town. Because it was like initially they reported on news that was related to that, and then I think possibly what happened was they ran out of it.
Yeah.
And now they just
just fucking doing shit like this.
Well, because that fucking guy who started Vice, I don't remember his name. I mean, that motherfucker went to Liberia and was like,
really,
like out there, like interviewing dudes who like ate children before they went into battle.
Shit.
Yeah.
So that and that was
Vice
like that was the golden days of Vice.
Yeah, the Vice Guide to Travel is one of the most mind-bending things you could ever watch.
Oh yeah.
They like go to like Bulgaria and they're like, oh yeah, here's this guy who'll sell you a nuclear warhead. Like, in a fucking like open air market.
I like that. I liked how they had their reporters in the shit.
Right.
And they had like a camera and like a reporter, and then they were in some thick shit, and it was like that was the interesting part of it because they gave you a window to see some shit that you would never even think of.
Yeah.
But now it's
get to look at some douchebag hipster from Brooklyn, and he's like in Crimea when the airport blows up. I did notice their Crimea coverage was when they turned me because like they had this fucking like huge nerd, and I felt so bad for this kid. But he was out there like, I'm a journalist, and he had like his helmet on, and then they were like in the middle of this town where like the shooting really hadn't started yet.
That was another thing.
But they were like taking over things, and then the airport got like strafed by helicopters and taken over by unknown troops. Clearly the Russians.
It was the Russians,
and then that dude was back in Canada.
Yeah, it was weird because that was something that I noticed myself is that they took people that you wouldn't necessarily see in those situations and they put them there. Anytime you would see like a CNN reporter or any of these mainstream media reporters, it'd be somebody that you would think would be like, okay, well, they are used to this and that's their job, so they should know how to act or be effective. Vice in the early days would take like regular people and be like, here's this war-torn area. Do a report on it. We're gonna videotape it and show it to the world. But yeah, what is that? Stanley Kubrick's neighbor is not a bouncer, but he is a roofer.
Yep. There you go.
All right.
Important information there.
But yeah,
you're at 28 minutes.
28 minutes. Okay, cool. That was the random Vice title generator. Yeah. If you Google that,
do more if you want.
Yeah, let's do like a couple more. But yeah, if you Google this, and then you can do this too. Okay. All right.
Penang's teenage and homosexual Penang's human traffickers.
What the fuck?
I'm assuming that was supposed to say Pyongyang.
How a child porn fanatic tribe or the edgiest drill step band in Hackney?
Whoa. That does seem like a real Vice because
that's
Hackney
very Vice.
Hackney is in East London. That's a hood in East London.
All right.
Drill step I think is in Chicago.
Yes, that
I know
is something
drill
that
music.
drill
started in
music is
I don't
Chicago.
know what
Yeah,
drill step is, but I'm assuming it's in that ballpark.
I think it's like an offshoot of that. But fuck, what the
a child
fuck,
porn
bruh?
fanatic tribe are the edgiest drill step band in Hackney.
Damn.
Sounds about right. Ingesting birdie powder in school with Ricky Gervais.
Cool. All right.
Morgan Freeman's gym buddy is not a garbage collector, but he is a midget stripper. See, these are the ones that work the best for me.
Yeah.
Is the ones where they're like, blah, 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 isn't this.
Yeah.
But they are
But he
this.
is this, and that
Yeah.
will pique in interest because you're like, what the fuck? Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
One more?
Yeah, one more. Yeah. Let's see if we can find another. We did Apple versus Android. We did the random device titles. We talked about podcasting in general. Shout out to Jeff, my not my roommate, my wingman. That's Goose right there. We got to get together, man. We got to get you on the episode. But yeah.
Who's Goose?
Jeff, I met him here.
He
one of my
survived?
Funny, yeah.
After his head hit the canopy and
We
everything?
changed reality.
I like
Goose
that.
is still alive. Yeah.
Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
He is here to stay.
Do it.
But yeah, shit. 443-747-1417 is
best
the
one.
number. Oh shit. That's the number to get in touch with Pod Caviar. Either leave a voicemail or send a text. And if you want to shout out, send us a message or post on Pod Caviar on Facebook. Hit me up personally or follow me on Twitter, twitter.com @nothavingit. And you can also go on twitch.tv .com. Oh no, twitch.tv/nothavingit, and that's how you get to Game Caviar. I stream a lot. I streamed yesterday, and it was awesome. Sometimes my voice is on it, sometimes it's not, but you're getting good gameplay either way. So, what headline did you have right there?
Oh, yes. Allow me.
I ignored a man on Snapchat who went to Syria and strangled their dad. What? The good thing about that website is that it seems like something
seems
that
so
you would just
legit.
read on Vice.
See if you get one more. Hold on. Let's see. Oh,
Oh,
that's a real
Whoa,
one. That has to
shit.
be a real one.
what?
Give me that one.
I will say within a year, as you see on video and you hear on this audio,
This will be
one,
a real
this
one.
will be a real Vice headline. It says, we spent Easter on the streets with Gaza's death row inmates.
Read it one more time so we have a clear
We
sound bite.
spent Easter on the streets with Gaza's death row inmates.
Sticking in his ass.
That's right.
Within a year, that will be a legit, or some variation of that will be a legit headline on Vice.
Prepare for horror. Prepare for horror. Prepare for horror.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a great episode as usual.
Do you have a pre-recorded outro, or you think?
We'll do it live. Fuck
No, we always do it live. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I don't. But
You want any
hey.
more soundboards before you end? Because I feel
don't
like I'm
think
dragging it
so.
out, and I'm just
no,
like,
no. See what we
fucking-
talked about earlier.
Yes,
we
it's
don't
true.
drag that shit out.
This man has no dick.
Another great episode. Check out the One Gram Army podcast. Be sure to subscribe to that. Subscribe to Pod Caviar. Go shop at Shirt Caviar and subscribe to twitch.tv/nothavingit. That is Game Caviar. You can find all of us everywhere if you Google us. This Pod Caviar is one of the most widely available podcasts in the world. And the 1 Gram Army is right there with us. So
We're up there.
I mean, shit.
We're in a few places.
Yeah. So I just
Out here.
I forgot that you put it on Spotify, so I just subscribed like yesterday.
Beautiful.
yeah.
I
That's
love
awesome,
Spotify,
bruh.
and you get the picture when I upload it and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, that shit
Spotify's
is
a
banging,
good place.
bruh, yeah.
Spotify's actually the best place to catch the 1 Gram Army podcast. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
I aggregate a podcast the best of anybody.
yeah.
And they upload instantly. Like if you're not on iTunes, like if you're not on Apple Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify's the way to go as far as getting the 1 Gram Army podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, subscribe to everything. Enjoy
These men
this.
are consummate
Thank you for
snowball
listening.
artists.
Go to shirtcaviar.com and buy all the shirts. You see me with an exclusive 2020 shirt right here. It's already getting a lot of attention. So this is the shirt that's going to be handed out to the supporters from day one. I got some being made. and I'm just going to hand them out to my people.
Yeah.
But you can be part of that list when you go to shirtcaviar.com and you make a purchase. Prices start at $10. So
He just told you to shut the fuck up. And he told me to go fuck myself.
exactly.
Let's get it on.
That's Graham. I'm Tony. This has been another great episode, and we are out.